I got a Vortex Strike Eagle 1:8 by 24, little LPVO there. This is a second focal plane reticle, so it stays the same as you zoom in and out. This is actually made possible by my buddy John today. I really appreciate that. He actually loaned us the Springfield Hellion to shoot and review, and he wants me to throw this up on here and get it zeroed for him. So I figured, while I have this, it's brand new in the box, why not do a review on the scope as well? So, not sure on the order of release. I'll probably have the Hellion video out first, but we'll have that to look forward to coming up if not. So let me go ahead and open that. This has specifically, they got different reticle options. This one has the AR BDC-3 reticle. So that looks like that. So you will zero it for 100 or 200 yards. We'll figure it out when we get her opened up. And then it gives you lines for each additional 100 yards down to 600 yards for your bullet drop. That way you can just aim high accordingly. You don't have to dial the scope or guess or anything like that. And these little dots off of the side here also give you windage marks. So if it's windy, you can do the same thing. You can use those as a reference point depending on the wind. So there's pretty much all the stats you're going to need right there if you want to pause and read any of that. Multi-coated lens, of course, nitrogen purge, all that, everything you would expect. There's a 30mm tube. So let's pop this guy out here real quick. So we're doing a quick unbox overview here, and I'll be taking you guys down to the range with it real quick. That's pretty cool. Oh, they have that image in there. Never opened one of these up. I've used them before, never owned one. Actually, the one I used was his when I met him down at the range. So we got a screen wipe there. There's a scope there. And I noticed, compared to some of the LPVOs I've been testing, honestly, it feels kind of lighter. So a lot of you guys will like that. It's a little bit lighter, although it is kind of heavy in the back here. But overall, it feels a little lighter than some that I've tested. So we got our flip up caps here. Under the rear one, you'll have a diopter right there, so you can adjust it for your own personal eyesight. Where are we at here? Sorry. Alright, there's our dial from 1x to 8x. Got the throw lever already installed. That's pretty nice and smooth. Of course, if you don't want the throw lever, I'm sure it comes out and you can just got nice stippling or whatever you would call that there. Our turrets here. Oh, that's our illumination dial there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wow, 11 different settings of brightness there. Obviously your battery's going to go under that cap there. And okay, we got old school here. Spin off caps. Very audible clicks. So that's interesting. These are not re-zeroable, resettable, I don't think. No, it looks like it. Yeah, it is. You can just spin that dial. Okay. It's just a different design than I'm used to. See how that's spinning without it clicking? So you'll get it zeroed. Wherever you have to go to zero, then you'll just spin this sucker back to, if I get my fingernail in there again, back to 0, and then it'll follow with it. So you can dial if you want. Again, you have a BDC reticle, so that's the main idea with using one of these, is you just use that BDC reticle for holdover for longer range shots. It'll show you a mark on the BDC reticle right where you need to hold to hit your target. But if you want to dial it, yeah, you can do so, and you reset it to 0 like that. You just grab that little notch there and that ring will spin around. So that's pretty cool. I've seen those before, just not in person. I haven't messed with them, so that's pretty cool little design there. Caps go on nice. I know on the cheaper ones, a lot of times it's hard getting those lined back up, but those definitely do go on there nice and easy. Let's see what they're saying here. It looks like just a warning. So, all right, let's see what else was in the box there. So I got all these appendages hanging out. It's kind of hard to get everything to fit, but it looks like we just got instructions down in there. I think that's all that's left in there. Yep. So obviously Vortex, if you didn't already know, it's got a lifetime warranty. No questions asked, no receipt necessary. I had to use that once, so I've always really liked Vortex for that. Awesome collar instructions there. So I'm not going to waste too much time flipping through all this. And it's pretty interesting, and notice they include a secondary booklet here just for the reticle. So everything you would need to know about using that reticle is in this pamphlet here. So yeah, there you go. There's our warranty. So like I said, I had to use it once, broke a scope, putting it on a 12 gauge shotgun that it had no purpose being up on, and we broke it. No questions asked, no receipt necessary. It was actually a secondhand scope, and they replaced it free of charge. So Vortex definitely has one of the best warranties in the business. But that should do it for the unboxing overview, so we'll head down to the range now, get her mounted up. I'll try to get some good images through the reticle to the best of my ability to show you guys with it illuminated and non-illuminated. We'll take some long range shots, get her zeroed in for 100 yards and all that, so I will see you guys down at the range in just a second. Alright, there she is all mounted up. This is a 16-inch carbine here, BCA upper. This thing actually shoots pretty dang good with the loads that it likes. But there she is there. I think it looks pretty good up on there. Okay. So, I looked at the paperwork, and this has, it wants you to set it up for a 50/200 zero. So basically, you can zero it for 50 yards there. It'll be a little high at 100, but out at 200, it should be back to dead on with the bullet arc as it is at 50 yards. So that's what we're going to do. Makes my life a lot easier to zero it down here at 50 yards instead of the typical 100 yards. So we're going to do that. Might do a couple little groups or something. And then clear out here, 400 yards. I got my 16-inch gong there, and we should be able to get hits on that as well. Right off the bat, I'd say I really like this reticle. I can't wait to show you guys. I will have coming up within a few minutes in the video, the best of my ability. We'll get some images through the scope. It always looks better in person. But I also discovered they do actually include the battery. I was taking the cap off. Oh, I got to fix that O-ring. There we go. That O-ring's popping out on me. You're going to have to watch that guy. It's wanting to squirt out on me. I probably tightened it up too much. Yeah, I'm going too tight, and it's squirting that O-ring out there that waterproofs it. Anyways, it was included, but it had one of those little plastic tabs that you got to pull out so it'll actually make contact, so it saves the battery while it's in storage to keep any possible power drain from occurring. So they do actually include the battery, and I'm happy to report, which again I'll show you guys coming up in just a few minutes, it is daytime bright. Alright, here we go. We'll get her zeroed in down here at 50. Now I want to pick some piece of debris or something just to send the sighter down there. It's getting kind of hard to pick out anything specific down there, so I actually put up this target yesterday. I'll go ahead and just aim center mass at that. There's like 3 in the center of the oval. One, anyways, you guys can see it there, and hopefully we'll hit paper there and can adjust accordingly, but typically I'll pick something in the dirt just to see how far off it is, because sometimes when you put a new scope on a rifle, it might just barely be off that paper from 50 yards, but here we'll go. We can take a crack at that paper and hopefully it'll hit it. Yeah, so see, it looks like we're completely missing the paper. Easier for you guys to see than me, but I just reviewed it real quick. Looks like we're hitting low, right? So I will circle it on screen for you guys, but I'm actually going to aim at this piece of stick or wood or whatever it is right here. Alright, so now with the base torqued up, looks like it was off to the right there. Alright, so it's aiming at the center of that thing, so we appear to be at least 2 inches low and about 4 inches off to the right, maybe 5. So these are half MOA clicks, so that would be, well, it's going to be rather, it's going to be a 1/4 inch per click at 50 yards there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because we want to come up 2 inches.
Obviously it shows you which direction. And then I needed to go to the left 4 inches, so 16 clicks. And then again, obviously you do have your markings there, if I could get a focus. So once you get it zeroed and lined up with 0 and all that, then you'll be able to dial for your dope based off of those numbers for your MOA markings there. But that should get us pretty close there. So I should be able to move to that paper now. I think I'm going to save my fresh target I put up, since this one's still there and good. I wasn't sure with the rain. So if I can get this camera situated, let's go for that top dot now, and I'll make any further necessary adjustments. Okay, we're still low and to the right, so I need to give her some more clicks there. Looks like I needed to... Did I do my math wrong? Looks like I needed to double my adjustments there. By the way, to be fair, those were just obviously me guessing. I'm obviously not down there measuring the dirt like, oh yeah, it was this far this way and this far that way. So those were just complete shot in the dark, wild guesses, because obviously I'm not measuring down there. So I know we need to go up at least 2 and go left at least 2. So I don't think that'll quite put us there, but that should be a lot closer.
Gave her 2 more clicks to the left and then this.
Both those 2 that went slightly to the left edge there, I think I just barely pulled them left, so we should be 100% on our 0 there. So, like I said earlier, 50/200 0, so it's dead on at 50, so it should be dead on at 200. It'll just be like an inch or so high at 100. And now we can follow those BDC marks for our further range shots, provided that we're using 55 or 62 grain ammunition, which we are. I'm using some 55 grain hand loads. So now we'll take a crack at that 400 yards and we'll put the 400 mark right on her. Somehow I'm extremely lucky right now, and we have 0 wind.
I mean, these things aren't moving at all.
That's an extreme oddity out here. So I should be able to just aim right on it with the 400 yard BDC mark and not have to give any wind correction.
All right, I got to switch the mic back over, but there's 5 in a row at 400 yards, and that's just an Anderson mil-spec lower, crappy mil-spec trigger, and a BCA upper. And guys, for things I cannot link to on YouTube, make sure you check out my campsite page. So yeah, I love this thing. I really like the reticle on it. Clear glass for me. Clear out there at 400 and 500 yards. The back of the range is 540. I can see back there clearly, no issue. Again, the illumination daytime bright for those who would want it to be daytime bright. She is. And at the price point, I don't know why their MSRP is so much higher on their website than where you can get it, like how I'll have linked in the video description for you guys. You can go Click on that, it'll take you straight to it. But I would say the price range that these actually come into, if you know where to look, like on my link, now this is definitely probably one of the best options out there in that price range, especially for a 1 to 8. And as I hit on earlier in the video, you cannot beat Vortex warranty. Like I said, lifetime warranty, and I was forced to, on a secondhand scope that I got, with nothing else but the scope, no box, no papers, no receipt, nothing, no questions asked. I abused it up on a 12-gauge slug gun, which it was not made for, but no questions asked. They took it back and actually allowed me to upgrade to an even better scope. They gave me several options because the one I sent them, it was an older one, it was discontinued, but they still honored the lifetime warranty, no questions asked, no receipt necessary, and I got a free upgrade. So their warranty is the best in the business as far as I'm concerned. Alright, I'll give you guys a look here of what it looks like looking through the scope. Please keep in mind, especially on LPVOs, for some reason I always seem to get worse images than I do through regular hunting type scopes. But it looks far more clear and crisp in person, and the little dots, compensation marks, are easier to see and all that. So this just kind of gives you a decent idea, but much more clear and crisp in person. But here's the target down there at 50 yards on the minimum magnification, which is technically no magnification, of 1x. And then here's with the illuminated reticle lit up, so you can see that it is plenty daytime bright. And then here's 50 yards on full 8x magnification. And then again with the illuminated reticle. Now we'll take a look down here, 400 yards. It's on 1x right there, no magnification. There's on the 8x, full magnification. And then there's with the illuminated reticle again. So be sure to check that link in the video description /more under the video for other things you see me using my products, like my target stand there, targets I use, steel target, shooting bags, safety glasses, earmuffs, and way more. All that is linked in the video description. And for things I cannot link to on YouTube, be sure to check out my campsite page. But thanks for stopping by and checking this one out today, guys. I really appreciate it, and I hope to catch you on the next one.